Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Major Projects. Will the Minister outline to the government, to the House, the role the government is playing in planning for rail connections to our airports, particularly in Western Sydney?
I call the Minister for Territories, Local Government
Well, I thank
the
member for Lindsay for that very important question. She's a great champion for her electorate and a great champion for Western Sydney. And of course, she was pleased, as indeed were all members of the government, that yesterday the government released the environmental impact statement for Western Sydney Airport, together with the draft airport plan. After the Rudd-Gillard-Rudd government failed to take a decision in relation to the Western Sydney Airport, it took the Abbott government to make a decision, and a direction that's been enthusiastically continued by the Turnbull government on this vital piece of infrastructure. The Western Sydney Airport will deliver huge benefits to this region, which is already some 2 million people and growing rapidly. It will deliver a new transport facility. It will deliver new employment opportunities. And we have a careful plan, Mr Speaker, to commence operations by 2025. By 2030 there will be some 10 million passengers. By 2063 there's expected to be over 80 million passengers as the airport grows over a number of decades. And, Mr Speaker, I want to emphasise that we do have a careful plan in relation to Western Sydney Airport and the ground transport connections, and that plan, of course, includes rail at the optimum time. Now, in the early years, Mr Speaker, passenger numbers at Western Sydney Airport will be relatively low and will be more than adequately catered for by road connections. There's a $3.6 billion road package already underway, and that package will involve upgrades to the Northern Road, Bringelly Road and Narellan Road, amongst others, and there will be a new motorway connection from the M7 to the airport site ready by the time the airport opens. But it is, of course, important that there is also a clear plan for rail in relation to the Western Sydney Airport. And so the Turnbull government is working closely with the New South Wales government to assess potential rail corridor options to serve the airport and the broader Western Sydney region. And the New South Wales government is assessing, for example, an extension of the South West Rail link from Leppington. And as is set out in the draft Western Sydney Airport plan released this week, the airport is being planned with space reserved for rail corridors and a train station. During construction, we plan that there will be excavations for the train tunnels and for the station box. That's to say the space where the station will be built. And this will allow for the rail connection to the Sydney Metropolitan train network to be added at the optimal time, which is expected to be after the airport opens and as the passenger numbers grow. Mr Speaker, let's be clear. The Turnbull government has a rational plan. The plan will get the Western Sydney Airport built. The plan will involve rail at the appropriate time, and the plan will deliver great benefits for the people of Western Sydney, the people of Sydney and the people of Australia.